And then I know this is the last one. And I would say it's also the last one, Judy. She is also one of the youngest teachers in our program. However, wow, she knows so much that she can talk about for the whole day. But we only have 15 minutes. Let me remind you, and let's welcome her.
Hello everyone, I'm Judy, and I'm very happy to share my journey with you before lunch. Okay, so here's my topic. It's called Behind the Task, Critical Literacy. So some of you might question, what is critical literacy? Later you will find it out. Maybe you can take out a post-it and write it down later. Okay, so there are 4 main parts for my topic. The first one is I will introduce about myself, and you can see there is the personal mobiles here in person. So I will talk about myself, and later I will move on to introduce few effective teaching activities I have tried in my action research. And later I will elaborate on more about my action research. And lastly, my aha moments from the SFU community and also from my journey. Okay, so here's about me. If you want to contact me, maybe you can email me or Google me on Facebook. And I have some others teaching journals on my Facebook that you can see. And I think I have been teaching in桃園市興南Junior High School for almost 7 years. And here is my teaching experience and my awards before. And I think joining SFU summer program is the best thing and the most important thing that I do when I am writing my, paper. So I just put it down and I want to go to Canada. Yes. And I think go there not only empower me to become a better self, but also empower my teaching. Okay. So here are 5 things about me. Okay, you can see in person. I use it in the semester when I meet my new students and I introduce myself to them. So you can see that I'm a cat lover, but sadly he just passed away a few months ago, this month. So my mom cried a lot. Yeah. So and also here you can see I enjoy drawing. I love painting a lot. So I just print it out and hang it on my hanger. And also I'm self-towing my ukulele for a few years, and so yeah, maybe next time I can share with you. But I didn't bring it today. And lastly, I think I'm madly in love with Canada, so I keep the postcard here. Yeah, I really love to visit there someday in the future. And lastly, I'm struggling graduate student in NTNU. And I'll hang it here. Okay, so here are a few activities I've tried in my action research. Since my action research is mainly discussion oriented, so I tried these few activities and I found that the last one, Freir's model, is the most useful for me and most helpful for me. And what is Freir's model, you might ask? It looks like this. It is a simple and great graphic organizer that you can help your student to expand their word bank. So like you want to teach the word reliable. I don't know what's the meaning of the word at first. So I Google it and here is the definition, characteristic, and they can give some example and non-example. But however, in my action research, since it is discussion class, so I use it to help my students facilitate to learn new terms and new concepts when they are discussing. Okay, so here are a few teaching variations that teachers can adopt in their class. So for me, I use second one. I help my students to discuss the new concepts for the ideas like cultures or maybe beliefs and values. I will elaborate more later on. Okay, so I do some activity. And before I start my action research, here is a few things that I would love you to know. First one is about the context. Since the new curriculum is coming, there are some goals for us to achieve. And here is my goal for my action research is to help my students to build higher thinking skills, to analyze text. So critical literacy meaning to analyze, yes, a lot. So So here is my goal. I want my students to learn how to analyze the text with critical literacy and also recognize the identity and voices behind the text. And what my students look like, they are from 2 intact, flexible classes, 弹性课程. So here they are 7th grader. So I account very difficulties when I'm doing my actual research. Here are my original desired outcomes. Original. I wish I can connect, practice, or progress and transform my student with critical literacy. However, it's turned out that I only can do the connection part. So I have to move on to my journey to 2020 to help my students to practice and transform. So here is my September that I try to connect myself, my student with the desired outcome to create definition and the image with the culture with Freire model. And also I wish them to answering 3 essential questions. However, I didn't make it, so I add another one to co-create the listener models because it is important for students when they are discussion, they need to be a good listener as well. So I do this. And the other activity I use is 5 senses questions. And the last one is 2 stars, 1 wish. So before, I thought my students know what is culture. However, the students say, 地球是一种文化. I'm so shocked. He say the earth is one of the culture. Oh my God. So he just write in Chinese, but I think it's okay. But they got not only limited English proficiency, but also 0 concept of cultures. However, I asked my colleagues in School of the Social Study, they will learn about the concept in their 8th grade. So I think I have to know more about their background knowledge before so I have to adjust my courses. So I try to tailor. I give them more language focus. And also I try some activities like to build their concept with their background knowledge, like Taiwan experience. So also I use the activity like walk and talk, think, pair, share. So here is the worksheet after my adjustment. So here you can see that, yeah. The following one, the first one is I use think. They think on their self, they draw an image for the first chart. And the second one, they give the definition with the other people together in a group. Think pair, so pair up. And later on, they will share in the group and draw the tree and what is culture might look like. And later, the teacher I share with what expert thinks about culture in the West. And here is the short video how I use the 5 senses question to ask my student what do the good listener looks like, sounds like, and what they do. A very short video. I hope it will work. So I remind them. 现在在两边讲嘛，来，你们刚刚自己定下的规矩，人家上台要怎么样？安静，第二件事情。So it's quite simple that before the class they have tried to co-create some criteria for the listener, like respect. You have to respect the speaker on the stage, and you have to give applause and try to be attentive. And so it is what I do to remind them these questions. And later, to evaluate the classes of my student learning, I use the 2-star language, but the disaster. Why? You can see, I learned 思考 and 文化. And also, I wish I can go more about 各国知识. He is the #1 student in the class, yeah, the top one. However, still limited. So I try to tailor with the guided question and give more points after my each PT. So they can maybe jot down some of the words during my presentation. Yeah, this is what I do. And go to October. I still at the stage of connection. So here I did it them all because they cannot move on until they are prepared. So I still try to help them to, use Freire model to create a definition for beliefs and values. And also I add one thing to co-create better listener models. What are better listener models? I think after you hear a speech, listen to a speech, you should give some feedback, some proper feedbacks, instead of just, I listen and you do nothing. So I co-create this. And the last one is also 2-star language. So here, from the experience I know, they have limited experiences. So I try to give more scaffold with language focus and build the concept of beliefs and values with my Canadian culture experience. So I choose 4 topics related to Canadian experience that you can see. So later in the video, you can see picture C. Students are discussing picture C about the welcome rainbow. There are many English words, all cultures, all religions, all genders, all LGBT, and all colors, and all ages, and all people. I found that students are more interested in LGBT. Yeah, because in Taiwan, we are the first Asian country to pass the law. Yeah, so I think it's quite interesting. And they use the language focus to report their findings. Let's see the video. LGBT， 好，学习大家准备好，等一下你们要给他回馈，然后下面有个picture C，同学报告的内容给你回馈，看你认同或不认同。好，来，你可以要举手 ，1、2、3、go。So later on, they will use Chinese to explain their ideas. I think it's okay. So they talk about their ideas about the topic. And later on, I move on to, yeah, you can see the second edition of my freedom model. I think it's a little more, yeah, so you can see more ideas here because with more guidance, they will know what they can do and put down to the places they want to share. Okay, so to create better listener models, I give them also the language focus. We want to give feedbacks to other groups, and also I have them to share their idea and feedbacks to other groups. Please stand up. 好，那往这里看就会跟在这里来。来，那你们的对象是这一组的人，就要面向他们。OK， 其他人内心，看大家让你们回馈。OK。So just a reminder, if your classes are too noisy during discussion, I use it. So you can keep with me. It's quite useful, yeah. So yeah, they are noisy, but I think they are okay. So 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they use the language focus to share their idea with others. So I add the last one, feedbacks. You have to give feedbacks. And here is their guided 2-star 1 wish. I added another criteria. They have to write 50 words at least. So I think you have to give criteria. So I found that more details and focused reflection after their classes, and they show respect and inclusive comes into their practice. You can see. 老师上完国家多元文化之后，让我的个人修养比以前更进步。I found it very pleased, and I share it with the homework teacher. She's very pleased as well. Yeah. So, and you can see here, cultures become invited. Some students even want to visit Canada in the future, and also they want to respect other culture. Like I talk about weed. So weed, the cannabis in Canada are legalized, right? So at first, she didn't know why Canada wants to legalize the thing, but that is their culture. We have to respect. So I think it's great to know, let them know there is nothing right or wrong for one culture. We have to respect. Yeah, and the last part is November to December that I added to answer 5 question responses with the poster words and prayer model, and also with 3 layers of accuracy. And the last one is 2-star 1 wish. So here we can see the language focus. Here I got 4 discussion questions. How can language help us do? How they heard us, and so on. And you can see. So let's see what they see here. So you can see. I'll skip the video. Here you can see the post-its because I found it quite time-consuming for everyone to get to the small poster. So I distribute them with the 1 post-it. They can stick it very quickly. It's time-saving. And I try to group their ideas into 2 different, like empowering speech and hate speech, and I ask them which is belong to which category, and I try to translate into English and give them some sentence focus, language focus. They have to report their ideas. So you will see the short video later. Okay, video is here. I'm sorry. Let's see. They are So I need to give many scaffolds for them during their discussions. Okay? So they are very cute. And here is my final version of Freer models, finally. So you can see, rush of time. You can see a lot of words here is more fluent. They can follow the step to share their discussions with everyone. Okay, so here is my recent journey that you can, if you are interested, you can ask me. I use the five questions responses. I find it quite useful to discuss some issues. Okay, so here are the three essential questions. Why we analyze and how do we analyze and how are they connected with our daily life? And lastly is my future practice and transform here on some activities that I might will be used in the future. And lastly, my aha moment, we can have the lunch finally. Okay. So there are five things that I think important. First, respect and inclusion. So only through respect and inclusion that we can create better environments for our students. And only through it that can our students create a better world themselves in the future. And the second is inquiry. Ask the right question, not only facilitate learning, but deepen their learning. Okay, the next one is number design that you get familiar with. And I think the last two is the most important. The first one is power of vulnerability, such a long word. So being open-minded with your student when you are in problem, and you can discuss with your students, and they will help you out. And empowerment will help you communicate and solve the problem. And lastly, we can create a community, support community that is the base of learning and teaching. So lastly, here, a word from Nina, who she just shared with the inter-first classes. We teach who we are. Okay, so thanks to SFU for your journey. Teaching is a journey, not the destination. Thank you.